What's up, guys? Welcome to HeyBucket Live. I'm your host, Sammy. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have a very special guest joining us, Jonathan Owe. He is the founder, CEO, designer, you name it, he does it for the Gluv. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jonathan.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for inviting me in.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to learn more about your product and how you got started in this business. So I think something that could be really cool for our viewers today is kind of give a background on who you are and how you originally got started in the clothing business.
Sure. Well, that's a super huge question. But I'll kind of step back. I grew up in Venice, California, and it was this amazing sort of community, a very hardworking blue collar community. And then there was like another subset community of there was a very strong artist community. So from a very young age, I really had this concept of finding my art in my work, which I think is very relevant to whatever you do. My calling just happened to be making clothes. So going back to your very big question, I did a lot of different things, but one of the first big steps for me was I was a vice president for one of the world's biggest leotard companies back in the 80s and 90s. And it opened up this whole idea of we were able to change a woman's body lines using stretch materials, spandex, right, at that time. Mm-hmm. And I just fell in love with the business because it was about reshaping a woman's body lines and then finding that she had all these improvements in her self-image. And as you unlocked her self-image and she became more self-confident, as you started to unlock that, then all these incredibly positive things started happening in her life. Like she had this new self-confidence. And then as her self-confidence grew, her relationships with her family and her friends grew, and her confidence at work grew. And so it was this amazing kind of self-healing path that I found in that industry. I just fell in love with. And of course, you could see how fast forward that a few years, that became sort of the groundwork and the foundation of the Gluv.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's something that is absolutely incredible about your product. I was a former softball player. And just talking to my old teammates and stuff, like when we grew up playing, we played in shorts, and it was not practical, uncomfortable, and frankly pretty dangerous. And then once we decided that, hey, we're going to transition over to pants, the only thing on the market was youth boys pants. So they were uncomfortable, unflattering, and it wasn't good for women. And I remember my first pair of gloves, and I remember just how I felt in them. And I felt like amazing. I felt like a stud, just the way that it fit you. And I think that's what's really cool about your product is like the way that you guys have been able to achieve that for every body type and make every girl on that field feel so powerful and good in their uniform.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was just fantastic to hear that from one of our first customers. Going back to what you were saying, I had a friend, he was actually a customer. This is before the Gluv. This is back in 2008. And he kept telling me, Jonathan, you're making basketball and football and basketball uniforms, for all these teams. You really need to look at girls softball. And I said, okay, well, all right, Kevin, that was his name, Kevin Norcross. And I said, Kevin, well, why would I do that? And he said, girls, they're being dressed up in boys' clothing and told to go out and play softball, and it's just killed the sport. And I thought about, I was so wrapped up in what I was doing with my men's business. I thought, first I thought, okay, well, I think you're a little nuts, but I thought back to what I did in my previous career in the women's bodywear business, how empowering that was, how excited I got. And what if I created this brand of girls softball clothing that contoured their body lines, improved their self-image, improved their self-confidence, And I just kind of imagined what that would be like. And of course, that became, I didn't even have a name for the product at the time, but that became the idea and the concept for the glove. And in 2009, I spent a year in pattern making. So the entire year 2009, I was making patterns and samples. And during that time, something happened that like made me double down on this. I read a story in the OC Register about a young lady who, just a fabulous softball player. She was a star pitcher at Mater Dei, and she had a Division I scholarship all lined up. She goes to practice, interacts with her teammates, happy as can be. She goes home and she hung herself. And it's a story that a lot of people have forgotten, but I read that and I literally started to weep because I thought, what if we were able to be there for her with this product and make her feel not just like, oh, I'm just all my values tied up in being an athlete, okay? But my value is tied up in being this beautiful, loved human being, right? Because that's what the bodywear business to me was all about, was to become this complete human being. And then I just doubled down, and I was working like all through the night, like 2 in the morning to 4 a.m. was my key pattern making time when I did my best work. And then my guys would come to work in the morning. We would sew the samples for the glove, and this went on for about a year. It took about a year of pattern making, and that just I just found we came out in 2010 and started getting the product out there, and then 2011 was kind of the year we really shoved off. But that was sort of the early history of what I was doing.
That's such an incredible, powerful story. I literally got the chills. But so what were some of the hardships and struggles that you feel that you had to overcome, starting this business by yourself, and you're the designer, you're the CEO, you're the founder, and you also, did you go out to teams and tell them about your product, or how did you kind of get the word out there?
Well, it's very interesting. When I first took the product out there, I remember I went to a couple at that time. Really, girls softball was it kind of like floated along in an infancy stage for many, many years, and this was really still part of that period. And I remember I went to a softball conference that was set up for travel ball coaches and rec ball coaches, and I walked out with this mannequin and with these tight-fitting softball pants, started talking about it. Literally, people just walked by and laughed. And it was funny though, but then a few of the parents would swing by, and then a few coaches swing by. And it was funny, at one of the first people that came by my booth was Brad Downs and Gary Davis from the Arizona Hotshots. And they saw what I was doing. And we talked for like 30 minutes. And it was funny. I was on the phone with Brad yesterday, and we were laughing about that.
Oh my gosh.
I still remember when you came to our booth that day with Gary. But yeah, so to fight for acceptance, and then we started getting on different travel teams, and then it just sort of took off and developed a life of its own, and just got fully embraced by the girls, and then the parents, and eventually the coaches. And then I just traveled around the country. I felt like Colonel Sanders, like selling the secret recipe. But that's literally how I got that business going. So, and to this day, these guys that I've walked up to are some of my closest friends. So it's kind of cool. It's like softball is this community it's like a very family sort of community, and the relationships are really, really strong. And I think a lot of us that are in this business, I know I can talk about for myself. This is kind of like my hobby, and really it's like sort of my joy to be part of this, not as a competitive person, but as this person who is on everybody's side. Like I don't have rivals and things like that, but like I'm kind of on everybody's side. So it's been really fantastic.
What is like the secret? Like, what was your vision when you were coming up with this product?
So one thing that's really critical here is that the separation of being a designer and a pattern maker.
Mm-hmm.
As a designer, in my mind, I have an idea of what I want to have the person wearing the product experience. And but that knowledge in itself is about 10% of what the product becomes. What the real skill is then being able to take that idea and then implementing that into a physical product that accomplishes all those things. And that's sort of my innate talent, if you say, is of being a pattern maker. I'm a really good pattern maker. And so I was able to take those ideas and create a product that, when you talk about how do you make somebody feel more confident, it's a matter of how we're going to streamline certain parts of your body, and then we're going to open up other parts to give you more freedom. So it's a matter of creating pressure points and then creating areas of freedom within a garment, whether it's a jersey or a pant, that create those emotions. And that's the power of the glove. So when you look at, for example, the pants, I don't care if you're someone who's 10 years old, 15 years old, someone who is, a type A or B body type. The pants they're not one pant that just is mathematically graded to different sizes. It's basically a pattern for every size, because like a child who's 10 years old, they still a girl doesn't have the hips yet. So that's a different pattern than, say, our adult small or adult medium, where you have a girl that maybe has a really attractive figure and she wants to be able to kind of enjoy and experience that. And then you have someone who's maybe a plus size and they're very self-conscious of their body. And how am I going to work to make that person feel less self-conscious and more beautiful, even though she's a plus size? So those are all skills of pattern maker, to be able to recognize, understand those things, and to address the needs of each single girl. And that's kind of the strength of the product. And that's one of the strengths. The other strength is because every single pair of pants is made by us in our factory, that we're able to create these products and deliver it direct to the consumer. So it's also our build to order US system that is incredibly efficient, that we built over 10 years. And it's incredibly unique.
That's so incredible. I didn't realize that you have different designs and different patterns for different ages and different body types. That's definitely makes this product so much different than any other pants on the market. And I also think it's super incredible how you guys are all American made and you're based out of Huntington Beach. I know that due to the circumstances right now, but is your factory usually open for public? Like, can people come in and try on the pants and get sized and fitted up?
Oh, absolutely. So we have a really nice, beautiful showroom. And every single day, you got to wear a mask when you come in. But we have people coming in on a daily basis, customers coming on a daily basis.
Awesome.
We handle some sanitizer, and if they don't have a mask, we hand them a mask. And they could come in and still, the girls can try on the pants, get fitted for pants or jerseys. And on a daily basis, we have kids coming in with families. We have like a beautiful fitting room area, and they come in on a daily basis, get fitted, and place orders. So that's happening right now. If you're a team that is in Georgia, which we have a lot of organizations in Georgia that order from us, we send sizing kits to organizations over there so they could fit the teams. Because, of course, as you know, fit is critical, and every girl likes to have their pants fit a little bit differently. And now we didn't have it when you played, but we have our pant with belt loops now. That is just off the charts incredible. It's just off the charts.
That's so cool.
Everything you loved about that beltless pant is in our belted pant. There's no zipper. What we're hearing about it from our customers back east is they're just like so excited. They say this is the best pant on the market with the belt loop. So it's great.
It's so cool. Awesome. So now you guys know, go check that out. Go get yourself some pants. And then can you also do like an order for a whole travel ball team, or how do you kind of set that up?
Oh, that's what we're best at. So we have travel ball teams all over the country, and we only work directly with the customer because The only way to do the uniform business effectively is you can't go through dealers and agents. It just doesn't work. There's too much of a loss in communication. So our customers, they talk directly with Sylvia, who's our general manager. All orders are placed through Sylvia. And if there's ever some sort of difficulty where they can't get through it here, they have my number. So you may not have the number for Mr. Nike or Rawlings or Adidas, but our organization heads, they all have my number because we are 100% accountable to our customers. And that's the only way to run this business. So when we're talking about rolling out designs, I personally will create a PDF catalog for our teams so I'll work with the heads of the organizations to design out their catalogs, and then they'll share those with their teams. And from that, the teams can then order directly through Sylvia, and there's no loss of communication, which is where most problems exist with uniform orders. And then the next thing is, because all of our products are made in-house, we have a 100% control over the process. Another thing unique is that we do not do any other sports. So we don't do baseball. We don't like all of the other sport business. We stopped. So we are 100% focused on our custom business. Is 100% focused on girls travel softball.
That's so cool. Okay, I might put you on the spot, but are you down for a little speed question round? Just 3 quick questions.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right. Okay, first one. This is quarantine themed. What has been your go-to takeout restaurant spot?
Oh, wow. There's a few. But I would say my go-to, there's a place called L&L Hawaiian Grill. And
my favorite.
I'm really big on eating healthy. And so I'll get the grilled fish or the grilled chicken plate with all veggies. And they just lay on the veggies. I'm a big sort of fish, chicken, veggie guy. So that
I always go chicken katsu. Got to do it. Chicken
katsu, yeah, it's great.
And the pasta salad.
Oh, so you're very aware of it, L&L.
So good. All right, next one. What was your dream job as a kid?
My dream job as a kid was to be doing exactly what I'm doing right now.
So cool. That's incredible.
To be honest, I can't.
All right,
my work is my hobby, and my friends have sort of all developed through my work. So I don't want to sound like, I don't know. I don't want people to get upset, but I'm kind of living my dream. Even on bad days, I have to tell myself, you're living your dream, so stop complaining on bad days.
I mean, that's the goal, right? Is to love what you do, and then it's not work anymore. It's fun.
Yes.
That's the goal. All right. Have you picked up any new quarantine hobbies or new talents or anything?
Wow, that's a big question. So, which kind of leads me in a different direction. I have a men's brand, something called Léo Rêve. Léo Rêve it's French for the dreaming lion, and that is my men's brand. And I've been working on that for 3 years now. While I've been doing the Gluv, I've been working on Léo Rêve. Since the pandemic started, I put a lot of time into that, and now we're finding that business is starting to flourish now as it's finding its voice. But it was so hard for us to develop the voice and to have a better understanding how to reach our male consumer.
And then, so how can men purchase that? They just go to leoreve.com?
Yes, they go to leoreve.com. And Léo Rêve means the dreaming lion.
For all the softball dads that need, a fresh fit here and there, that'll be their new go-to outfits.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And travel ball dads, moms, girls, if you're watching, don't forget to go check out thegluv.com and get yourself some new pants. Well, thank you guys so much for checking out HeyBucket Live. Be sure to tune in for more content. I'm your host, Sammy Glantz. Thanks, guys. See you next time.